rule. It's like going to the movie theater with your friend.
Well,
you can't sit next to her.
I think I know this may shock you. I know this
Unless it's a girl, you can't sit next to
the girl. You better be exactly. I know this may shock you, but we have someone coming out for this seat a little bit later on. Brad is scheduled to be in that seat. I know this may shock you that he's running a few minutes late.
No way.
No, say it isn't so.
Not Brad.
Dude, what has happened with your team the last 6 or 7 weeks? My gosh, you went from, what is it? I forget what it is. You gained 10 spots in points. You went from 18th to 8th in, what's this, the last 6 races. What in the world? Man.
Yeah. I got to do it to you again. Make some noise for Brad Keselowski.
Oh,
not too late. There he is.
Hey, good. How are you?
Hey, I didn't know you were here, man.
Oh, man, I'm here.
Oh,
I am here.
We're talking Penske Racing, baby. That's what we got
Go
here.
ahead. I'll listen. I want to hear what you got to say.
Well, we were just talking with Joey about the last 6 weeks and what's happened with that 22 car. Joey?
We've been ripping it. We've had some really fast race cars. Obviously, the last 3 weeks we've had 3 top 5 finishes in a row, coming off 6 straight top 10 finishes in a row. So we got to keep that going into this weekend. This is a weekend. Obviously, you got to be consistent. And not have anything crazy happen to get ourselves into the chase. So we're definitely capable of doing it. And I feel like as long as we get into the chase, we have a shot at winning this championship. So obviously it's one step at a time. We got to get in first, then we can regroup and reset our goals. But now we got to get through Richmond first. But we have some momentum on our side right now for sure.
And joining us here, as you guys know, our reigning champ of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, Brad. Brad, you need to go on offense on Saturday night. I mean, it's there's all kinds of scenarios and all kinds of things, but it's almost easy for you. You guys really need to stack one up, to lock one in there, and hope some other things happen. How do you look at it for Saturday night?
Well, I don't know what stack one up means, but I know that we just need
all kinds of things. So we had Newman out here correcting me on night crawlers, night walkers, night something. So I'm getting all kinds of.
I'm just here to win the race.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it. And that's really the only thing that matters, and that's the only thing that gives us a shot of really going on further. So that's where my head's at.
Man, oh man, it just. Okay, here's a question. We got a question for you, Brad. Okay, if you're running second, will you dump the driver ahead of you to win the race? I don't know who asked that question. But we might just well lay it right out there early.
Well, if I told you, it wouldn't be any fun. You got to watch and find out yourselves.
Oh, okay.
What's your short for? I don't know.
Yeah, depends on who it is.
What if it was me?
What if
You got to watch the race and watch your mirror.
You know what's going to happen Saturday night now, folks.
So now I know where I stand.
Or don't watch your mirror.
Joey's leading with 10 laps to go, and there's a blue deuce in his mirror. I bet you this conversation comes back to him.
When people say blue juice, all I can think is how glad I am my car's not brown. It would not be really funny if you re-say what you just said and say Joey's going to be looking out for his back if there's a brown deuce chasing him.
I'll tell you what. I have daughters 12 and 15, and they would be rolling on the ground laughing right now because that seems to be the topic around the house now. So,
the brown deuce.
The brown deuce.
Just glad Miller picked blue.
Good there's not UPS on that thing or something, huh?
Leave it to Brad. Exactly.
That's awesome.
Brad, your season, what are you guys working on? What has been the issue thus far that has you scratching and clawing to get into the chase? How do you assess where you guys are at?
Well, obviously we just haven't put up the finishes, but we ran really well. I think we're running just as well, or if not better than what we were at this time through the season last year, but we just don't have the finishes to show for it, whether it's been different scenarios. Obviously we blew up leading the race last week.
Yeah.
It's 100 different things, so it's not really one thing, but you just got to get the finishes.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, and that's the challenge of NASCAR Sprint Cup Series racing is so many moving parts and pieces can go wrong. Joey, you guys started off really, really good, and then you hit a roadblock, and you just kind of tumbled, and we talked about it, 18th place in points coming out of Indianapolis Motor Speedway. What does it say? What does it say for your guys, for Todd Gordon and your guys, the fact that I think it'd be easy to curl up in a ball and say we started good, but that's where it is. What does it say about your team to be able to rally back like you guys have and back up to where you were earlier in the season?
The team doesn't quit. They're strong. You look at out of the gates we had fast race cars, but we didn't have the finishes we deserved. Then we started running really well and had shots to win. And then we lost our 25 points. And then we had a couple bad runs after that. And then we start picking them up again. Then we have 2 flat tires in a row at Loudon and Daytona.
Yeah.
And then you're back to where you were again, 50 points out. And then you start just clawing at it again. So it's just, it's never quit and really just focus in on what you got to do that weekend and making the best finish out of whatever happens, whatever the race throws at you. I look at Bristol a few weeks ago. We got, a speeding penalty. I got blocked in. I got right front damage. And there's one more thing. I can't even remember what happened. But we finished 5th after all that.
Yeah.
So,
You overheated.
Oh yeah, I overheated.
Yeah,
I had a piece of garbage on the
And
go.
so did his car.
Again. So after all that, we still made the most out of that day. I feel like we had a car that could have won that race, but we made the most out of it. Finished 5th after all that. And that's what's put us in the position we are right now, and trying to get into chase. Although we do have a lot of bad finishes to go along with that, but a lot of those I feel like were out of our control at the time.
Brad, going to shift a little bit, talk racing still. You drive for Roger Penske. Most of us that watch TV, we see Roger Penske as this stoic guy sitting on the pit box. We don't see much emotion from him. Just pretty straight up guy.
I've seen some emotion from him.
What's Roger? Well, that's my question. What's Roger like?
He's obviously he's my team owner. He's my boss, so I have to be careful what I say. But no, he's good. He's there's a reason why I wanted to come drive for him because his reputation of being a fair but strong leader who has the results speak for himself. He's won Indy 500 more times than I can count on my hands and toes. And now obviously we won the championship last year in the Cup and then nationwide a few years back. So and that's not a coincidence. He's got a dedication to excellence that really just goes through everything he does, and it's nice to see that drive. I don't know how he keeps it going. He's what is he, 7 years old, something like that?
He's 70-something.
He sleeps less than I do, which I guess isn't saying that much.
He's about the sharpest guy I've ever met.
You know what's amazing about him though is I guarantee if he walked through this whole crowd and met everybody and you told him his name, he'd remember your name.
Really?
Yeah, it's really impressive. I don't know how he does that, but what's your name again?
Exactly.
But I can't remember anybody's name, but he's really, really sharp.
That is really, really cool. And yet, Joey, we have this huge empire that he owns, this stoic look. But when he's around in the pits, talking to you guys, talking to some of your crew guys, he's just one of the guys, and he's kind of a car guy also, right?
Which is cool, he's Roger Penske. He's obviously you recognize him. He's very iconic, but at the same time, he is a down to earth guy. The guy, he calls you at like 10:30 at night, and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I'm like, "I was in bed." I'm like, I don't know. Why? What's going on?
I'm in Australia, and it's 6:30 in the morning.
Here's a guy. He's 70-something years old, and he's out working me, and I'm like, man, how can I be that way? So he's very inspirational on how he can do that and be so down to earth, and how he can have so many different businesses and so many things on his plate. And still be able to control all that and handle all of it. Obviously, to do that, you have great people surrounding you. I said have some great people at Penske Racing. Obviously, through Penske Corporation has some great people. But you have an amazing leader that starts from that. And it starts from the top and trickles its way down. And he's a great guy to work for. I've enjoyed every second of it this year. Had a blast with it. And to see, I always think it's cool that he calls me, because I'm like, man, I ask him, like, what are you doing? And he's like, yeah, I'm in Australia. I'm starting this truck thing and this and that and all this stuff going on. I'm like, well, why are you talking to me? I'm like, you got a lot bigger fish on the plate here to work on, and you're talking to me. I'm like, all right, cool. So I think that's really neat that he has a passion for our sport. He loves auto racing, and obviously not just NASCAR, IndyCar, all the kinds, but he loves it. He just ran a race in Europe in a 1960-something Mercedes. He drove, and through the towns, it was like 1,000 miles or something like that, and he loved it. So it's really cool to see that someone's just so into racing in general. Really, really neat. Speaking of driving things, Brad, when you won the championship, you said you wanted to buy a tank. How does this start? Is there like a Tanks R Us or something like that? How's that going?
The easiest way to explain it is, getting a tank is about as hard as you'd think it would be to get a tank, or as it should be. And I'm working on. I got my best girl in charge, my sister. So she's working on. I'm supposed to go look at one here 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Really?
So
And I'm really kind of excited about it.
you got to tell them about the van. See, I'm doing the Joey Logano Foundation is doing a calendar that's coming out pretty soon with a bunch of drivers in it and what they drive on the street. And so I got Brad in there as one of the drivers.
Who else do you have in the?
I got Biffle, Kyle Busch. I got the Allison brothers, which is really cool.
Bobby and Donnie.
Bobby and
My
Donnie.
God,
That's pretty
that's
cool.
cool.
I
Awesome.
got
What
Rutledge
vehicles?
Wood.
What vehicle did they do?
Donnie's got it looks like his old race car, but it's a street car. Which is
Okay,
kinda
yeah,
cool.
that's cool.
And then Donnie's got an old Harley, like a 60-something Harley, which is pretty nice bike. Biffle's in there with with Ford GTs.
Oh, yeah, yep.
Yeah, and then Stenhouse is in there. Who else we got? We got Pastrana. Pastrana's pictures are the coolest, by the way, because he did them at his house, and he's got his bike that he did double backflip on, and all the pictures are action shots, and he's doing backflips into the foam pit, and he's flying in the air, and this guy's freaking nuts.
He is.
So,
You got to tell him the story about Pastrana
cool.
when he sent you a message too. Remember that?
yeah.
Yeah.
He sends
This
both
is
of
good.
us chain text messages, whatever. You can put a couple people on, and it sends both of us one, and it says, "Hey, I was."
Hey, what are you guys up to? Yeah.
What are you
so-
up to? It's like in 2 days, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm going to. I think it was Utah or something.
Yeah.
Go base jumping. You guys want to go?" I'm like, "Hell no! Are you kidding? You're freaking nuts!" I'm like, "No,
I
I'm
wanna
not jumping
live."
off no bridge."
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just sent us a message saying 2 more days, going base jumping. Come on, let's go. You're
Yeah,
like,
I don't know if
wait,
he
what?
knows that. Yeah, I drive race cars, don't jump off bridges. So let's just figure that out. But no, it's really cool. So tell them about the van that you got in there.
Yeah, so I just, it's not done yet, but the outside's done, so I used it for Joey's photo shoot. But we just built a complete replica, what would you call a replica? A complete replica version
Yeah.
of the A-Team van.
Really?
Yeah.
It's pretty. Is that the spoiler
Well,
on the back?
growing
and all?
up, I was a huge A-Team fan.
Yeah.
And, when
Awesome.
when I go around to different racetracks, like Martinsville and, sometimes Bristol, Charlotte, those type of places, we always drive to those races. And I always want to bring a couple buddies with me, but, I got a car and you can only bring like one person and you can't fit anything in the trunk because, you're traveling for 2 or 3 days. So
Road trip.
So, I needed a vehicle for road trips. I was trying to think, well, I don't want to just buy a van. That would be kind of lame.
Yeah,
I want to have something. If I'm going to own a van, it's got to be something that's cool. So we built a complete replica of the A-Team van. And what's really cool about it is the outside looks just like the A-Team. It's got the same wheels, the red wheels. And it's got the spoiler on the back, the black with the red and the gray stripes on it. And but what's really cool, though, is the A-Team van, they never showed the inside of the van.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever noticed that. So to me, that meant I could do whatever I wanted on the inside.
Oh,
Shag
no.
carpeting.
So,
oh, it's a shaggin' wagon.
so possibly. What we ended up doing was putting a partition that moves up and down. Because if you ever notice, if you ever been to a limo or a town car or anything like that, the law is if you want to be able to drink beer, you have to have a partition. So we put a...
This guy loves partitions.
Yes. So we have this partition that goes up and down. So when you're drinking in the back, the partition comes up and you're
I wasn't
legal.
aware of that.
Yeah.
Man,
So-
you got it hooked up.
Yeah, it might have a little bit of shag carpet in it. We were thinking about putting a license plate on it that said free candy. And we decided not to.
Too far. Maybe too far.
We decided to go.
Whoa!
We decided to go B team, so it's now the B team van.
You knew someone was going to take it over the edge, and not a surprise, guys. We need to wrap it up with you, but we appreciate you coming out. How about it for Joey Logano and Brad
Thank you,
Keselowski?
guys. Appreciate it.